So good morning, everybody. We, as usual, have come to our this Thursday lecture, and today we want to look at the Northeast. Northeast is undergoing a major turmoil, and initially it was limited to Manipur and mainly, but some bit in other North states also because of firing regions. Uh, but of late, whatever has happened in Bangladesh, whatever is happening in Myanmar, especially in its southern portion of the Arakan army capturing certain areas, so the new complexities have emerged. And we have a very important speaker today. Incidentally, he is got delayed by about 10 minutes, and he will be reaching us shortly. So we are really privileged finally to get Major Shah here, and he is multiple personalities in one, and I'm sure you will enjoy his conversation and deliberation on the issue concerned. I request Priyanka to introduce the speaker, and then Dr. Mohammed to speak.
Thank you, sir. Major Mohommed Ali Shah is an international TEDx speaker who has been invited to speak on TEDx platforms the maximum times in the world globally. He's a multi-talented personality who has acted in several national award-winning films like Heather, Bajrangi Bhaijaan, and the Tashkent Files, to name a few. He has been a visiting faculty at noted filmmaker Subhash Ghari's film school, Whistling Woods International. In 2024, Major Shah was awarded the Best Defense Analyst on TV by APN News Channel as Minister Chair. He has recently been awarded the Director General Assam Rifles Commendation Card for his brilliant analysis in media on the northeast part of India, particularly Manipur, an award which he personally considers to be the highest honor that he ever got since it was awarded to him in civil dress as an army veteran 17 years after hanging up his uniform, and secondly because it pertains to an area he is very attached to the northeast part of India. Though he was awarded the General Officer Commanding in Chief's Commendation Card in 2007 while serving with the Assam Rifles. He is often referred to as an authority on India's Northeast affairs by various TV channels. Today he will be speaking on the Northeast role in India's Act East policy. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Priyanka. Thank you, everyone. Jai Hind. And firstly, my sincere, heartfelt apologies for being late. And, as Murphy's Law says, when something has to go wrong, it will go wrong in the worst possible hour. And one is really just helpless. So, in fact, I asked the general from there, I told him, sir, I'm extremely late. I'm so sorry. He said, being late is not an option. We can do it online. I said, sir, actually, I'm right now midway. I don't know. I can't go back. I can't. So, I'm really, really embarrassed and apologetic about this. Now, when we are talking about the northeast part of India's role in the Act East policy, let's keep it interactive. So what do we understand? We understand the fact that in 1991, when P.V. Narasimha Rao's government was in power, at that time, coincidentally, the disintegration of USSR also happened. And the aftermaths of it, if you connect the dots, the whole world was somewhere affected by it. And so was the Americans, because there was as we all know, there was a Cold War from 1979 to 1989, 10 years where Pakistan had supported America and we had come forward and we had supported the US. Now, when this happened in 1991, about 1992, it was Look East policy, which was brought in earlier to build in the trade relations, the cultural ties, the bilateral relations with the countries in the South Pacific, in fact. So now, it so happened in 2013, or 2011, if I'm not mistaken, Hillary Clinton had paid a visit to India. And she had mentioned that why don't we change the policy from just Look East to Act East? Now, which means you actually take act, which means, for example, if I tell you, if say China is misbehaving with Vietnam, for example. So we will do our bit economically to render support. Now, how do we do that? And I will come to that as well. Now, the best way for that is, I'll give a small example for everyone to understand. Now, this is CENJOWS complex. Now, to come to CENJOWS office, the ideal thing is to come from gate number 2, because it's the most convenient one. If you enter from some other gate, you will go around in circles all over. So, northeast part of India, because geographically, that strategically is located there. So, that is a good gateway to actually build ties with the northeast part of, with the South Pacific countries. Now, which are the South Pacific countries, in fact? Which are the countries involved for the look east to act east policy? The countries in the east, obviously, like, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Laos, Cambodia, Singapore, that side, the countries which are now the northeast part of India. We say seven sisters and now one newborn brother, and now one brother. So seven sisters, one brother. Which are the seven sisters? Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Arunachal, Shillong, and Bhutan, which is considered the the brother now. Now, we have to have a clear understanding about the northeast part of India, which many people tend to neglect. They don't have an understanding about northeast part of India, but they will think that they know. I don't know about northeast. Whereas television channels, they consult me, and I still tell them that I'm still learning about it. It's something which is very complex. Now, to have a thorough understanding about it, we have to understand that there was insurgency in Mizoram. Then it was brought under control. There was insurgency in Nagaland with the NSC and IM and NSC and K. There was ceasefire there. There is insurgency in Manipur, still there, with the underground groups. There are different underground groups like UNLF, United Nations Liberation Front, this PLA, People Liberation Army, not the PLA of China, but the PLA of Manipur. There's KYKL, Kangla Yavan Kanal, there's Pre-Park, there's Pulse, People United Liberation Front, there are different underground factions. Now, in Tripura, again, it was curved almost, we can say that. Now, when it comes to Assam, there was Alpha operating in Assam, especially they were very active in Kokrajhar and such areas. That also be eradicated to a large extent. Now, what are the challenges? Why is it that, like right now, we all know that Manipur is under fire since 3rd May 2023. It's been burning. There's been a clash between the Maithil and Kuki. That's a different story altogether. And when we talk about this trouble in Manipur will affect our Act East policy, because if there's trouble there, obviously it will affect. I'll tell you a small story to make it very interesting for you all. It was 28 September, the year was 2005, and I was doing ADC to the GOC of the spare corps, or the 3 Corps. And we had just landed by helicopter to a place called Juribam. And I, being the adventurous thoughts, we thought, I took special permission. But I know people over there, new locals over there. So we got permission to go there, to go outside and visit. But then we got lost. When we got lost, we went to someone's house. And we went to someone's house for asking for water. So he gave us water, but he didn't allow us to leave without having tea. And later on, I was told that that gentleman, they were so poor, they didn't have tea. They had to borrow the tea leaves, sugar, and milk and such things, and then they served us tea. So those people over there are very large-hearted. Now we have to understand that they should not feel alienated. They should not feel that they are away from us. So when we feel that they are part of us, they will feel that they are part of us. For example, when I was with the Assam Rifles, the locals would tell us every 3 months I had a record of donating my blood by winning hearts and minds. I was told that when we see you in uniform, we see that the Assam Rifles or the Indian Army is here to protect us, not to intimidate us. Because in the 80s especially, that's a time when insurgency in Nagaland particularly was on the peak. And they were like NSC and IM, NSC and K. It was actually one group, Isaac Moiwa and Haflan. They were part of one. But then they split, they disintegrated. But now again, the gateway is again from the northeast. From these, because of the geographically, they are located that side, right? It's, if I have to explain it in a very, very crux manner, it's just that. Now, when we have an understanding about their languages, their dialect, for example, in Nagaland, there is a place called Mokokchung. The Ao tribe is dominated over there. There is a place called, among Ao, there's Chungkli and Changkli. Among Chungkli, there is Mungsun. Then there is a tribe called Sema tribe, which comes from Zunobuto. Then there is another tribe called Konyak, which is dominant in Mon or Twinchang. Then there are Angamis who are in Kohima or Sakhama. Then there are Sumis, there are Rengmas. There are different tribes. You have to understand which tribe is affiliated to which tribe. When we say a general perspective that, okay, north is part of India, anything beyond Guwahati is north is part of India. It would not be just anything beyond Guwahati. Even in Manipur, for that matter. we have to understand the Maite dominated belt, the Kuki dominated belt. The Kuki dominated belts are Chachanpur, Kangpokpi, More, which lies on the Burma, which is now Myanmar border. So the Kukis, what they prefer calling Chachanpur Lamka, whereas there's a ruling that you cannot rename, you cannot put a name to any city as per your own whims and fancy, your own choice. Now, among Kukis also, there would be Thadao speaking Kukis. They would be having surnames like Hawkins, Kipgins, Thongsides. They are Paites, like Guites, Sautes, Waltes, they are Gauntes, they are Mizos, they are different. Among the Kukis also, among Maites. Maites are, people think that Maites are Manipur Hindus only. They are Maite Christians as well. And they would be having names like Rohan or Laish Ram Raju Singh, who are Maite Christians. They are Maite Muslims. Like in 1972, the Chief Minister of Manipur was Mohommed Ali Shah, who was the Maite Pangal. From Bengal, it came Pangal. Right? So they are the Maite Muslims. So now, when they are South Indians also, who are in More, if you go to More town, you'll find a lot of South Indian restaurants there of idli, dosa, sambar, and all. So we have to understand the fact that their diversification. And once we understand the pulse of the northeast part of India, it will play a major factor in the look east to northeast to the Act East policy. Anyone has any questions? I mean, I'll be very happy to answer. So
I think we can come up with that in the end.
Sir, right, sir. So I'll tell you again a small story, and I told you about 2005 this had happened, and 2008 what had happened was we were driving from Kohima to Dimapur. We were the Assam Rifles, and when you cross Kohima, you cross a place called Medzifema, Ghaspani. You get pineapples over there, very, very good pineapples. Then there's a place called Chumukdima, and then comes Dimapur. And it's all hilly terrain from Kohima to Medzifema, Ghaspani, and then to Chumukdima. So when we reached Chumukdima, mobile networks started coming on our phones, and we got a message that our flight has been delayed by 3 hours. And because weather changes very, very fast in northeast part of India. Suddenly you take off and suddenly there's a different change of weather. That's why it was very prone to air crashes at one time. Even now it is very, very volatile. So when we got the message, we said, now what do we do? There was a hillock over there. We went to the hillock. And let's pass some time over there. And that's the time, cutting a very long story short, we were intercepted by a group of insurgents who captured us, and they blindfolded us, and they were going to shoot us, actually. And there was ceasefire there. And we don't know how to tackle that situation. So I said, just when they were about to shoot us, they said, okay, guys, remember God and get ready to die like a man. Just then we broke into their language. I said, I started speaking to him in his language. So they got a bit softened, and cutting a very long story short, I spoke to him in Munson, and then that's how we managed to escape from there without a scratch. Now that is, again, when we get the pulse of those people over there, we know how to, because that is a part which is very, very, which is affiliated to geographically. Like say, I'll give you a small example to correlate with it, a parallel I'll draw with it. You all must be knowing of Quad, right? Australia, Japan, America, and India. India is a strategic partner in Quad because of our affinity, of our geographical strategic location to China. So he has authored many books on China. So when we are neighbor with China, we play a very important part in China. China had also made friends with Solomon Islands. Solomon Islands are a fragment of 800 to 900 islands. And they are different, they are fragmented all over. Because they are so fragmented, it's difficult to control them. So China had made friends with Solomon Islands, which had a pact with Australia. So Australia will give them police protection, will look after their pirate problems, not a problem, crime problem. But when China did that, so what happened is, because that will make China's location, they will be able to send their military towards Solomon Islands, east. And the globe is round. So strategically west, which will be they'll come more closer towards America. And the same issue was with Russia, Ukraine. If Ukraine would have joined NATO, the American troops would have come to Russia, to Ukraine, close to the Russian borders, right? The border would have been exposed. Similarly, if China would have come to Solomon Islands, then it would have been, that means their military is coming towards America, right? So,
could you just relate, while it is okay that, a lot of connects need to be developed with the Northeast states, and, I'm sure a lot of effort is being done, even if it is falling short. Can you just correlate something with this? How do we translate, on ground the Act East policy through the Northeast to the neighboring states of Myanmar and other areas despite the disturbance?
sure.
So something like the Act East in its ground operationalization, what could be done, what is being done? Something like that.
Right. See, Myanmar, which was previously Burma, plays an important part because they have their tribal affinity, the cultures towards many of them are very, very similar to our people in the northeast part of India. And there's military coup. So the military in Myanmar, people who are protesting against the military coup, it's said, I don't know if it's true, that they have hired insurgents to actually sort out the people who are protesting in Myanmar. And there are a lot of videos from Myanmar which are floating around in India with the fake news saying that this is happening in Manipur. Now, how do we tackle that? Our foreign policy is very good. We have made very good ties. See, look at India's foreign policy. We have very good ties with Russia. Historical ties. We have very good ties with Ukraine. We have very good ties with Israel. We have very good ties with Iran and Lebanon as well. But now we often neglect people. I have had the honor of interviewing two Indian ambassadors, former Indian ambassadors to Myanmar. Ambassador Preet Mohan Singh and Ambassador Gautam Mukhopadhyay. So both of them had one common thing to say that, we talk about India's foreign policy is very good. It is very good. But when it comes to the Northeast region or say Act East policy, somewhere the neglect happens. So how do we strengthen that? It is just very simple by making people aware of the Northeast again. People have limited knowledge about the Northeast part of India. And when we pay emphasis there and politically, diplomatically, strategically, everywhere, we will have results showing on ground.